Okay, I think that was very nice of an intro. So I'll just start quickly, wanting to want to know more about you because I think it's in the journey that experiences are, and I think most of the learning we can do just with our journey. So I would like to start with you, Rutu. You say that you started off, you had a sabbatical, and then suddenly you started growing organically through a WhatsApp. What was it all about? What was the journey? I really wanted to hear that.
So I come from a very humble middle class background, and it's full of doctors and engineers. So for me to either way get into the world of dancing, I was always considered the black sheep. I think till date because of my bohemian, perspective and radical views. So yes, it was very tricky, and of course. Once the dancing to the corporate journey happened, that was okay. Then I was considered, normal and regular. But yes, once I took that sabbatical, which was a very conscious decision. So parenting for me was I never considered it as a responsibility. For me, it was a luxury. For me, it was something that I was blessed with. And having a girl child was a dream when I was a little girl. In fact, I also, thought of names that if I ever have a girl child, these are the names, that I would put. So yes, as a single parent, it was definitely challenging for me. But yes, coming from the typical mindset and that shift, getting a salary at the end of the month to then becoming a social entrepreneur and then eventually putting it on a self-sustainable model, you're almost like connected 24/7, as an entrepreneur and if you have your own business. But with us, there were other challenges like working with differently able people, doing a lot of women empowerment work. And, I have so many fathers and husbands who walk up to me and I said, हमको तो एक बीवी नहीं संभाली जाती, आप इतने हजारों बीवियों को कैसे संभालते हो? So yeah, it's not easy because women go through massive mood swings. सुबह दोस्त, शाम दुश्मन, and are always on this guilt trip. I fail to understand this entire imposter syndrome, that they go through. They always, keep feeling guilty. They'll be physically present but mentally absent. Office mein baithe par ghar pe kya chal raha hai? So somewhere I think it's important for women also to start saying no. Most importantly, start delegating and start enjoying themselves. I think a lot of us don't give me time. The parenting support group happened because when I moved back to Bombay, it started with a very selfish note of me wanting to reconnect with whatever was happening in Bombay, considering I was born and brought up here. So वो 20 माओ का छोटा सा WhatsApp group था, but right from the beginning, which is almost 8 years back, उस समय WhatsApp की capacity शुरू हुई थी 50 से, then it became 100, then it's now 256 though. And it was always no nonsense, which means there was no good morning, good night, forwards, happy birthday, happy Diwali. ये सब कुछ नहीं होता था. So obviously everybody liked that entire concept. And then one of the mothers said कि I have a very good friend, I think she'll be a great value add. मैं बोला हाँ please add कर दो, सोने पे सुहागा, more the merrier. And that's how we grew online. We started meeting offline, but then I realized I didn't want to start kitty parties. So we started with workshops. We've hosted more than 450 events in the last 8 years, and all of them have been complimentary. They're all free of cost. Registration or participation in the community is also free of cost. There's no charge attached to that. So it's been wonderful, but yet full of challenges. It's been a great learning experience, and I have, believe you me, come across such dynamic women who are so enterprising, so many role models for me to even look up to, and they're doing such phenomenal work. But yeah, one thing I've noticed is women have this thing of multitasking. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आप अपने पैरों पे ही कुल्हाड़ी मार रहे हो because now you're expected to look like Miss Indias, you're expected to look like, cook like master chefs, and then you're supposed to be breadwinners of the house, then you're supposed to look after your in-laws and your parents and your bacha and your husband who's like an elder child, himself. So it's a lot. So take it easy. Nature has instinctively made you the nest bearer or nurturer. Stick to that. You have these images, especially women's Mother's Day पे आते हैं वो एक औरत के 10 हाथ होते हैं, she's trying to maneuver so many things. That's a wrong perception. I don't call myself a feminist. I'm on the equal side of men as well. For me, I truly consider that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. दोनों के अलग-अलग strengths हैं and areas of opportunities, as well. So the sooner we embrace both of them, the better it would be. But running the moms community has been truly, truly fascinating. Like I said, it's a mixed bag because it's full of women. But every day is a learning experience. But yeah, one thing for sure is nothing surprises me anymore. I've had so many shocks, in the last 8 years. It's definitely been a great, great learning experiences, full of joys and a little bit of shocks and surprises as well.
I think we're all enjoying the bubbliness that she's bringing in. And I think that's so nice. That's so nice. So coming to you, you said you started Voice Academy. I mean, I'm not sure if that was really heard of. So how was your initial journey? How was your acceptance? And did you really feel like giving up at some point of time? Or was it that you always got support and everything was honky-dory and you are what you are today?
Okay, Anu. So we all have our journeys, and of course, I have one too. So how it happened was, I am basically a jewelry designer, trained from NIFT, Delhi Horsecast 93-96 batch, and I was working in a jewelry house, export house, traveling around the world and all that. But there was a voice inside my heart that was always telling me, Vandana, this is not for you. I think you have something else, your calling is something else. And मुझे बस ये लगता था कैसे मैं ये सारे काम छोड़ के अपनी आवाज़ डिस्कवरी चैनल पर दूँ, you know. This was one my secret dream, and I was like, God, is that possible? And then one day came into my life, and I said, bas, no to job, I cannot travel, बहुत हो गया. And my second daughter arrived, so it was very tough for me, like how she said, भैया बस करो, इतने सारे काम मत करो, बच्चे ही पाल लो अभी, you know, that's what. I said, okay, I was happy and all. But then suddenly, one day I came and I said to my husband, अब मुझसे job नहीं होगी. I think I'll just take a break. Okay, fine. Then the voice became bigger and larger inside me. And I told my husband, I think I need a voice training. He said, what is that? I said, even I don't know, but I'm sure there's something like that. Then after that, I trained myself in voicing for 2 years, and I did theater for a year. And I started giving my voice extensively to radio, television, and it was very good, you know. You just go on your own time, go to a studio, give your voice, get a check, and everything was fine. But in 2013, I said, no, because of my prior understanding of how the subject is, I started understanding that voice is very deep. It is powerful. So I need to take voice to another dimension. It's not only giving voice to radio and television and say, Resham si twacha, har roz. Okay. Or maybe, you know, I love doing that, you know, because that was something that I loved. It was my passion, and I took it to another level and enjoyed getting money out of it. But then I said, no, I think there is something more to it which I should experiment and understand. Then I researched, as all of us believe that we have to be learner all the time. I started brushing up with my Hindi and Urdu language. और अभी भी sorry to say, मुझे कोई अगर शब्द ऐसा कान में पड़ता है, ज़्यादा बोला, ज़्यादा क्यों बोला, ज़्यादा है. You know, so all these things, of course, I'm a voice trainer, so modulations, diction is a very important part of it. So that's how I started, you know, grooming myself, honing my skills. Then in 2013, I decided that I should now train others. And it was a very difficult decision because I had to have a place, I had to have a staff, and of course, like how I said, no, I will never give pamphlets in the newspaper. I will not, because it's a serious thing. So it's not a hobby. One should understand it's a subject, and let's deal with it. So then, of course, my husband supported me a lot, and I got a place, I started. And will you believe that before I started my academy, like offline as an office, I had one student who had enrolled before the office was there, you know. So it was a sign. I said, okay, God, maybe if you have this for me, I'll go ahead. But then, believe me, for almost a year, I didn't know what am I doing, what is voice, what is happening. It was only going to office, meeting a few people, attending few calls, and, you know, come back home. But then slowly, I started making my modules. I started writing about voice, understanding what voice is, came up with voice exercises, understanding speech organs. And then I started approaching schools and colleges, and I came up with a concept that, okay, we can do voice workshops. So then, okay, it clicked. You know, there was, of course, a patch of struggle and things like that, but yes, it did happen because I think people understood this कि हाँ आपकी आवाज़ है, आपके पास है, it's a free gift. आपने खरीदी तो नहीं, पैदा होते ही आपके पास वो थी. So might as well let us know it little more, okay? Because it has some power. Your voice has imagination power. It can give it imagination to your audience. आप अपनी आवाज़ को ऊपर नीचे कर सकते हैं. आप उसमें मॉड्यूलेट कर सकते हैं, एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं. तो सबसे ज़्यादा फ़ायदा होता है एक्टर्स को, थिएटर आर्टिस्ट को, even singers को, coaches. So then people started walking to me from all walks of lives. और सबसे अच्छी बात ये हुई कि a whole lot of autistic students started coming to me. So there was my, right kind of a joy कि a person who's not normal like us, I'm able to do something for them. So this was, something great that I could do as a voice coach. And during lockdown, I think we had to, of course, shut office and there was no classes because how can you, interact with students? But I started online. And online opened many bigger doors, like internationally. In fact, you would be surprised to know that I thought, okay, I'll pick up a course from IIM in communication and learn during lockdown. So Vandana, I think you need to train us. And then I started training IIM students. I just finished one batch with Lucknow, Xavier's, colleges in Pune, and workshops in Dubai. So there was no, looking back. But then here, I want to take this opportunity to tell all you lovely ladies that set a tone of your voice, Get connected. Add a little connection when you speak. Means a lot because your audience is always ready to listen to you. There is a voice, that is very comfortable when reaches your ears and comes into your heart. The more believable you are, it's good for your audience because here we all are, some people are selling their dresses and everything, food and biryani and everything. So what is the right tone of your voice, What is it that you want to communicate? So first thing is be believable. Be honest with your voice, what you are communicating. So there I thought, is a huge scope. And still I'm learning. I'm writing articles, I'm writing blogs on voicing. And my vision is to come up with a degree course in our country because in America, sports is #1 and voicing is #2. So I want to, come up with something that, can help students especially to know their voice and come up to that level where they can communicate better and get to audience what they want to.
Yeah, actually what I'm understanding is that each one of us is so different. Like Ritu is coming up with that entire, bubbliness, the energy and how to get people and how to get into it. But it's always about a purpose that's driving. And what I see in you is that I can't even imagine that somebody can, start off with something so simple as voice and then have a vision to actually have a course. A purpose and the essence of having a vision. Actually, that's what's coming up, and that continuous learning and learning. I think these are some of the elements I think that's coming up so well in your conversations, and I think that's definitely a take home for all of us. Now, Mercy, when I was listening to you today, I was so surprised at your journey. I'm not sure if you would want to, open up to this platform of women, but it's still, if you're comfortable and you would like to share, actually, where does the entire energy for you to come back? Or I know from what I heard that you've had your own full share of setbacks. But if there's something that you want to share, and how or what is it that brings you back to action? That's something that I want to hear from you.
So, am I audible? Yeah. So I have come to a point where I've completed almost 13 years of my journey as an entrepreneur, tried stuff, and right before me I saw everything crushed down. like all supports removed, and and I was just thinking, now what? And it and there and I knew there's a purpose beyond the pain that I'm going through, and that kept me going. And so just that, the purpose beyond my pain, and each one of us have a purpose for which we are on this earth. And that kept me going, like despite whatever, people can pity you, you can pity yourself, but there is a purpose and you have to be, it's like, I heard one of the speakers saying, it's like you are a jet and you're at the runway, but there's no gas in you. You cannot be like that. You have to, you're meant to fly in the air. So that was one thing, the purpose beyond my pain which drove me.
That's so inspiring. That's really, really inspiring. Okay, Rena. Yeah. So teenage is all about fun. So why not party a lot and have fun, and why get into the entire grill of entrepreneurship, and what is it that actually you're looking at? Now, these are big things that are coming your way: purpose, pain and purpose. There is an intent, there is a vision, there is a mission, everything. So how are you as a millennial taking all of this?
Okay, so fun is something that once I'm in school, you say 10th हो जाएगा, you will have fun in college. I went to college, तब बोला कि मतलब डिप्लोमा किया, डिप्लोमा खत्म होएगा, इंजीनियरिंग में बहुत मजे आएंगे, हर साल तुम आईवी में जाओगे. डिप्लोमा इंजीनियरिंग करने गई, एक साल में कोविड हो गया, हम घर पे बैठे. So the fun part तो experience करने मिला नहीं, but ठीक है. The whole thing is fun is for me at least. I like to have fun, but at the same time also be wise enough to plan for my future and so that I have fun, thoda early retirement and have fun more. So something that digital media has taught us, which was I think that it was not so livid for my mom, like मेरे पहले generation में, is that the path was set that after you are out of your college, you have to marry, and then you have to have a retirement whenever it is finished. So, but because of digitalization and social media and everything, there are so many other avenues where you can actually plan and make yourself free. So, so that is what I have learned from looking at people like my mom and listening to all the ladies here. So the whole thing, as a young person, I'm saying that we are looking up to the older generation, and you guys are like really setting examples for us and the benchmarks for us to live up to that expectations. And I have heard my mom saying, "मैं कुछ भी नहीं कर रही हूँ," and I am like, "मम्मी और कितना कर?" So it's like I have seen aunties and uncles like undermining what they are doing, and I would like to say, like, I talk to my friends and we are talking about how amazing our parents are. So whatever you are doing, the fun part is there. Of course, हम करते हैं मस्ती, but we're also like being wise enough to plan for our future, and that is all because I have learned from my mother, and maybe someone is learning from you as well. So, thank you.
That was serious talk.
Lovely. Just to add to the fun element, I think what she was also trying to say कि आगे करोगे तो fun आएगा, आगे करो, पर वो अभी तक आया नहीं है. I think one of the biggest things that the pandemic has taught us is a lot of learning, unlearning, and relearning. I have this little list of 10 things I want to do before I die. 10 vidhaniyan जिसको बोलते हैं. And I actually did that. So I've always desired to stay in a water-facing house, and I actually did that during the pandemic. I wanted to rebrand the community or actually do some branding. So I did that. Sometimes it's also important to have, like 5 things to do before, the year ends. Resolutions, weight loss, वो सब अलग है. वो नहीं इतना consistent और टिक पाते हैं. But other things, it's always good to plan थोड़ा सा little ahead, but not at the cost of your present. I know a lot of people, and I think this is also part of our cultural conditioning as Indians, saving mode, fixed deposit. Like I know a lot of people who had not perhaps, who had saved for the rainy day, वो बोलते हैं ना कि नहीं कभी कुछ हो गया, emergency हो गई, पर pandemic में वो पैसा छूना नहीं है उनको. I mean, it was so foolish कि चलो ठीक है business नहीं चल रहा है, but that's the money you kept for your rainy day. So this is the rainy day and use it. So sometimes we don't enjoy our present. A lot of people keep complaining Monday जब उनको वापस जाना होता है office में, Monday blues. It's a very common label or terminology used. I feel that what is the point if you are working and you're not enjoying it? आप मर्सिडीज में जा रहे हो पर अगर वो काम आप इंजॉय नहीं कर रहे हो then it's pointless. So yes, I remember in one of the panel speaker sessions the speaker had mentioned about this, that fire yourself on Friday and hire yourself back on Monday. Weekend fun, family fun. So the more offline you are, the better. I think because of the whole online intervention and of course the pandemic has also increased, it's just going crazy. So have fun and learn to enjoy your present. Save for the rainy day, but please enjoy your present as well. And have as much masti and be must.
Yeah, I think that's something that we all need to learn, because that's an unlearning for all of us. All of us. Like, I think if the millennial is looking up to us, I think our generation was like, my mom wouldn't allow me to take an earn leave nor a CL unless, और sick leave तो बीमार गिरेंगे तो ही लेना है. मतलब भले ही कंपनी से निकलते टाइम पूरा you just take that and go, but no leaves allowed. So I think what is setting apart is that all of us in our own ways are inspiration. And yes, I think I completely agree with you. I also realized it too late in life that it better enjoy your present, because you never know about the future. So I think every day is so very important. That was a wonderful insight. Shraddha, आप real estate करते हो, तो आप एक काफ़ी male dominated एक है, तो आप वो सब कैसे handle करते हो? आप
सबसे पहले तो मैं उनके नेचर के बारे में जानती हूँ कि उनको क्या चाहिए, तो मैं उनके हिसाब से उनसे बात करती हूँ और मैं लास्ट मोमेंट तक कोशिश करती हूँ कि वो एक फ्लैट उनका जो सपना है मैं उनको कैसे भी करके उनको प्रोवाइड करवाऊँ. वो मुझे कहते हैं मैम 33 लाख का है, ये है. मैं उनको कन्विंस करती हूँ कि सर 33 लाख बहुत नहीं है, बट जब आप आओगे अपने सपनों का घर सजाओगे ना तो वो 33 लाख भी आपको कम लगेगा. इस टाइप से मैं उनको क्लोज करती हूँ. देन हैप्पी कि हाँ श्रद्धा आपने क्लोज किया है हमें.
That was a $1 million tip that everybody got. सपने बेचो, business हो जाएगा. Okay, I think it was really wonderful interacting with each one of y'all, and each one of y'all have had a very very different story and very different age groups, I believe. Yes, and yeah, I wanted to pull out Reina because a lot of times we feel that there is a disconnect with the millennials. So I just wanted to bring her up, and because the one thing that she said, Mama, I want to be there to tell that I look up to, we all college mein, we look up to our parents as inspiration and as role models. Then that's something so unsaid. And I just want to use this as a platform, to share that, to all the women, that whatever they are doing, even if it is not told explicitly, your children are watching. I think that was one message that she hardcore wanted to come over and share it, and I think we all got the message for sure. So it was really wonderful interacting with each one of you. Mercy, your story of getting back and being resilient and ensuring that whatever happens, I'm going to be there, I'm going to show up every time, and you have always shown up, and super duper proud about you. Rutu, your bubbliness, your chabli, everything is so overflowing, and I think there is so much of a joy element within you, and I think that's what lightens, that's what actually transforms this entire conversation. It would have gone to a very serious note, but you just kept bringing it up. And I think one very important point that you spoke about is the power of community. That which was, which the digital world, we all say, we are getting overwhelmed, or there's a lot of it, but I think there is a good thing also in the digital world, which is the community that you can build like-minded people. I think that is one big learning that I have had from her, that community is what is something that will keep you going, and even if it's online, offline, it just works. And I'm amazed at the kind of work that you're doing, building people. So amazing. क्लाउड किचन, रियल एस्टेट. अभी $1 million आपने एक टिप भी हमको दे दिया, एंड आई एम श्योर दिस इज समथिंग आई एम गोइंग टू टेक एंड गो. बट कुछ करना है, कुछ कर. आप हमेशा जब बात भी कर रहे थे मेरे साथ, अब बोल रहे थे मुझे कुछ करना है, हम लोगों को कुछ करना है, कुछ अलग करना है. और मैंने आपकी वर्सैटिलिटी बहुत जगह पे देखी है, हर बार शो अप करते हो. सो आई मीन दैट्स रियली एन इंस्पिरेशन. और वो बहुत कुछ लेगेसी छोड़ेगा. आज आप एक हो जो उस पार में है, एंड आई एम श्योर आगे जाके आज आपकी बेटी, आप बोल रहे हो कि she's got some 26K followers or something like that. I mean that was so unthinkable. So I think that's overflowing. So awesome work as a woman. Vandana, you took us to a literally very different intellectual dimension, where if you know something, if you keep on pursuing it, there's so much of knowledge and knowledge that you can bring in, and you can create your own path. I think that's what we all need to learn from here, that we are all unique in our own ways, and with whatever we have, I think whatever we spoke right now, it was all intrinsic. We didn't speak about what we learned and what are the qualifications we are having, what are the other back-end or infrastructure we have. What we have has transformed your lives. And I think I would like to sum up with that. What we have is more than enough to transform, to change, to leave a footprint on earth. So thank you so much for the wonderful audience. Is there anybody who would like to ask any questions before I just close the session?
So you're going to fire yourself today, right? Oh my God. That's the best approach.
So awesome, thank you so much, and it just sums up the entire energy. Amazing audience. Anybody else who would like to share something? Yeah? Or
They understood everything. Best audience.
Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Thank you. Okay, while the organizers are coming, why don't you light us up with some soul stirring?
Okay, there's a song for all of us. No, 1.5 song. So first part is तू अब से पहले सितारों में बस रही थी कहीं, तुझे ज़मीं पे उतारा गया है मेरे लिए, तुझे ज़मीं पे उतारा गया है मेरे लिए. कभी कभी मेरे दिल में ख्याल आता है. This for all of you lovely ladies. Yeah, and now just a small song which is very close to my heart, which I learnt in my school. Whenever I used to be like low, my mother taught me this, and I want to sing this because it's important. कहीं ना कहीं हमें कभी ना कभी खुदा की ज़रूरत पड़ती है. हमारी कोई भी स्ट्रगल हो, कोई भी ऐसा मोमेंट आता है जब हम थोड़ा गिव अप करते हैं, हमें सहारे की ज़रूरत पड़ती है. तो प्लीज़ लिसन टू दिस, and I'm sure this is going to bring in a lot of healing in your heart. सहारा मुझको चाहिए, सहारा दे मुझे खुदा, सहारा मुझको चाहिए, सहारा दे मुझे खुदा, मुझे संभाल मैं गिरा, मुझे संभाल मैं गिरा, सहारा मुझको चाहिए, सहारा दे मुझे खुदा। कठिन है रास्ते बहुत, हर एक मोड़ पर खतर, अंधेरे सायों को हटा, दिखा दे मुझको अब शहर, मुझे संभाल मैं गिरा, मुझे संभाल मैं गिरा। सहारा मुझको चाहिए, सहारा दे मुझे खुदा, सहारा दे मुझे खुदा। God bless you. Thank you so much, Anu.
I would request Ritu Gorai to come on stage. It was wonderful listening to you, Ritu. Lot of power, lot of energy.
Yeah. I started my page during lockdown. Uh, it has been a hell of a ride for me. It's very, people will pass comments on you or judge you, but it is really up to you that you should not stop or hamper your growth because of them. That's what I have learned, and I'm really looking forward to make more content and keep growing. Thank you.
I would like to call upon Revna Binny to come on stage and accept our vote of thanks.
Now we would like to felicitate Jagruti ma'am. Yes, with a huge round of applause for the whole event. Thank you so much, ma'am.
We have a special guest here from Ghatkopar. She is representing BJP, Bindu Trivedi. I request Bindu Trivedi to come on stage and tell her story. Bindu जी बताइएगा कि आपको पॉलिटिक्स क्यों पसंद है, आपने क्यों चूज किया, आपका एजेंडा क्या है. प्लीज आइए. हाँ जी आइए, आ जाइए.
थैंक यू जागृति. बिकॉज़ मैं 28 ईयर से बीजेपी में हूँ, सोशल वर्क करती हूँ, बहुत सारी संस्था और समाज के साथ जुड़ी हूँ. आई एम अ सिंगर, आई एम अ एंकर. मैंने 12 साल टी सीरीज़ में एज अ सिंगर भी काम किया है और बहुत अलग अलग मतलब मल्टीटास्किंग किया है. तो बोलते हैं ना कि सब बंदर के व्यापारी, ऐसा है. और सभी काम में बहुत मज़ा आया, जो जो आगे जाके जो जो काम करने का चांस मिला और सब लोगों से जुड़ने का जो मौका मिला वो किया. हेलो समीर भाई, थैंक यू सो मच.
थैंक यू बिंदु जी. बिंदु जी, आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू, आप प्लीज स्टेज पे आइए. एंड आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट भार्गव एंड रवि टू फेलिसिटेट बिंदु त्रिवेदी. हैव अ बिग राउंड ऑफ applause. I would just like to, before we proceed or before we conclude I Am Story Season 2.0, anybody from the audience who would like to give your feedback or learnings? Only one person. And then we conclude with a small activity. कोई आकर बोलना चाहेगा? Okay, I can see one name of our guest I just missed. So it's a humble request to Rashna Kapadi ma'am to come on stage. We are women leaders. You would have told Jagruti, wait, I'm still here.
No, I would come back next year.
Wow. So we are going to see Rashma Kapadi next year in I Am Story Season 3.0 on the panel discussion as a speaker.
I would like to say something.
I have to still reach there. I've taken back a lot of inspiration today. There's a saying that a king rules the kingdom, but it's the queen that moves the board. So there we are. We need to move the board. And it's amazing what women can do to women. So a little secret, I do a bit of freelancing work too. And the other day I had 9 women in my house. So a lot of my assistants and a lot of my co-workers are women who come back to work with me. And I want to give back to the society doing some good buildings, good work. And someday I will inspire young little kids out here, just like you ladies. I'm so privileged to be here. Thank you so much.